the morning they bulldozed my great-grandfather's bridge. I wasn't just angry, I was done playing polite, done responding to certified. Letterstone trusting the system. That bridge wasn't just stone and mortar, it was my family's legacy, and when they tore it down without warning, I decided to do the one thing no one thought I'd ever do. Drain the entire lake. Their 4 million resort depended on it. Started like any Tuesday, 6 o'clock a.m. Lake still wrapped in fog. I'm out on Thetic, sipping coffee, listening to loon sand creaking planks when I hear theramble. Deep, guttural, unmistakable diesel engines. Then, through the mist, I see it, a low bulldozer, crawling toward Thebridge like a tanked. More trucks bend at men in vests. Hard hats, radios. I ran, I yelled. Didn't matter, they had paperwork, they had orders. They had asthmatic little woman standing with her arms crossed, wearing white heels and a fake smile. Barbara Langston, president of Thea Kids Shores HOA, you can't do this, is shouted. Her voice didn't even rise. Well, ready did see Barbara wasn't from Rao. Here she moved in 2 years, a gay from Scottsdale, bought a lakefront mansion, and within 6 months had muscled her way to the top of the HOA board. The kind of person who calls the cops on lemonade stands the kind of person who uses community standards as a weapon. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that bridge wasn't just old, it was protected. My great-grandfather Walter Dean built it in 1924. Hand cut limestone stone arch connected our cabin to the main road before there were subdivisions. Orchid Shores was even an amand. Tucked in the attic, sealed in a fireproof box, were the original DH records, maps, and most important, a water rights agreement signed by the county in 1923. That agreement granted Walter Ondesair's perpetual flow authority over Lake Norwood. See, the bridge wasn't just a bridge. It sat above a secondary spillway. Walter designed the dam Hibbolt. The bypass channels. The HOA may have thought they ran this lake, but illegally controlled how much water stayed in it. They didn't know that yet, but they would after they demolished the bridge. I spent 2 days in a rage. Then I did what Tawny, good engineer, does when cornered. I started reading. I called my old professor at Texas A&M, a specialist in historical waterlog. I sent scans to Micahson's wife, who works for the State Water Authority. I brought in a surveyor. Turns out that spillway hadn't been touched in 50 years, but it was still functional, and it was mine. Meanwhile, Barbara was just getting warmed up, chefing me for having a fishing net on my dock. Said my mailbox was the wrong color, claimed my shed was visibly weathered. Then she sent private security, her brother-in-law's company, to patrol my property line. Guys with Muro-rid sunglasses and clipboards taking photos off my gutters. I started documenting Molidi. Every notice, every visit, I filed a complaint with the state about their unlicensed security. I requested DHO financial records, public documents be the way, and started noticing where payouts, $8,000 to Langston Consulting, $5,500 to Norwood Maintenance Solutions. Shitch turned out to be run by her nephew. Nepotism fraud. It was all there, but I was playing a long game. You see their sort across the lake. The one Barbara Rockupt bragging about was funded by a $4 million commercial loan. I got a copy off their environmental impact report and found a clause that changed everything. If the lake dropped more than 18 in below full pool for longer than 72 hours, bank could call the loan due immediately. So I called a meeting. I showed up to the next HOA board session with a banker's box full of evidence, water rights, deed records, photos of spillway, copies of the payments. I'm nother to argue. I told them, I'm here to for you a choice. Barbara Lafadier, bluffing. No, I said, I'm draining lake. She turned red. That's terrorism. No, I said again, that's maintenance. The board voted to reject my claims. One member abstained, the rest followed Barbara's lead. She stood up dramatic. Let it be known that Mr. Dean is a danger to this community. That night I walked to the spillway, opened the access panel, and turned the valve 3 full times. Within 6 hours, the lake dropped 11 in. By noon's next day, the resort's boat docks were grounded. Tourists were posting photos online. Mud, dead fish, sunken kayaks. The third day, the bank pulled out. Barbara called an emergency meeting. This time, it was chaos half. The homeowners demanded her resignation. The other half accused me of environmental sabotage. Then the sheriff showed up, said they'd gotten an anonymous tip. I was tampering with public infrastructure. I handed him the paperwork. My great-grandfather built this system, I said. Legally, I operate. I'd read it twice, shook his head, and said, this is above my pay grade. Barbara stone done. She went on the local news, called me a dangerous extremist, said I was endangering children, destroying property values. But every time she talked, people dug a little deeper. Her husband's company had received $30,000 in unapproved payments. Her cousin had been awarded contracts with that bidding, and her own backyard guest house was built 4 feet into a protected wetland zone. 2 weeks later, County issued a restraining order against her misuse of funds, abuse of authority permit violations. The board voted to remove her. She left town. The next morning, the new HOA president, Mrs. Nora Caldwell, an 82-year-old hood, lived here since 1967. She asked me to help draft a new set of bells, ones that respected historical strews and community heritage, where named the rebuilt bridge Walters Crossing. The county even approved it as a historic site. 3 months later, their sort reopened under new ownership. They negotiated with me directly. I agreed to maintain water levels in exchange for preservation easements. We even created a joint scholarship in my great-grandfather's name for civil engineering students focused on sustainable water systems. Funny how things work out now. Every July, we host Bridge Day live music, catfish fry, kids jumping off the dock, the very dock Barbara once tried to find me for, and sometimes I just stand there hand resting on the limestone rail, listening to the water flowing, steady, calm, but strong. Because here's the truth. Water doesn't care about power trips or bylaws. It follows gravity, it follows design, and it remembers who built it. So if someone ever tries to bulldoze your legacy, don't just yell, don't beg. Learn the system, know your rights. And if they push you into a corner, let the water speak for you. Now, tell me this: what would you have done if someone tore down something your family built with their own hands? Would you fight back or walk away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your story, and if you're facing your own HOA nightmare, stay tuned. Next time, I'll tell you about the rancher who used mineral rights to stop a billionaire from paving over her land. It got wild.